Keeping it tight every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a Lions mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. I have done some research in Chuck Clark, and maybe he's not just a guy like we thought. Let me get that off the screen so you can see my ugly mug, because I do have the face for radio doing video anyways, because that's what I do here. How's everybody doing? So, welcome back to Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, where the grit meets the gridiron. Lions just added a defensive dog, Chuck Clark, veteran safety who brings leadership, toughness, and brains to the Detroit secondary. Don't forget, he was drafted and stayed his entire contract with the Ravens. And his last year there, he was their defensive captain with the green dot, leading the secondary and the entire defense. So he had 123 games with 80 starts, 500 plus tackles, 37 pass breakups, 7 forced fumbles, and 5 picks. So with Kirby Joseph, we don't know if he's going to be back at the beginning of the season, but we hope so. And Brian Branch won't be back till midseason. This is the type of guy that's a former defensive captain that can bridge the gap until they're healthy. I'm not saying he supplants them. I'm saying he enhances them in the depth. And in 2025 with Pittsburgh, his run defense was an 83.1, top 10 scoring among safeties. He's not flashy, he's physical, disciplined, durable, and the kind of player who fits identity, smart, tough, and relentless. Hey, we got Yoli! Good morning, Yoli. Bottom line is, the Lions didn't just sign a safety, they added a defensive quarterback that can elevate the entire secondary. That's what I'm saying by a dog. And I'm not saying he's going to be great. I'm not saying he's going to be flashy. He's going to be solid. He's a depth piece. Oh, other than the fact that this tooth is killing me, I'm doing great. And we made a surprise move in the last 2 days that nobody's talking about. Yep, exactly. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make it realistic and be honest about it, that I had to do some more work, because as far as I knew, he was just a guy. I never heard of him. But then I started reading up and doing the research that I needed to do, and he's not just a guy. What derailed him was signing with the Jets in 2023, playing at MetLife, ACL injury. Imagine that. And the next year, he had another minor injury on the other leg. But he does not have an injury history. I think that was more due to the field there that's so awful at MetLife. But we did do another signing, and it's in the coaching staff. It went under the radar, and everybody's missing it. The Lions pick up assistant running back coach James Booby Williams. And I remember him playing at Washington State back there in the mid-2010 decade. Compact, powerful back at Washington State, a guy who thrived balance, leverage, and contact toughness. Experience translates directly into coaching running backs and special teams players. Pad level, burst angle, and yards after contact discipline. So welcome to Detroit, James Booby Williams. He's a bridge between players and coaches, someone who can live the grind and can translate Campbell's intensity into actionable technique. Think of him as a culture amplifier, not just a position coach. So we got somebody to help. Maybe somebody to help Pacheco get to that next level. Hell, I wouldn't even mind if the Lions reached out to Torrey Harmon because he also does strength and conditioning specifically for running backs. A good buddy of mine on Facebook I met through Scott Morganroth one time on Inside the Pigskin. He used to be the assistant running backs coach for an off season out with the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's two moves that kind of go under the radar and aren't getting enough. They're just not getting enough on it. You know what I mean? There we go. Now it's back to normal. God, I was trying to get my screen back because there was an update done and I couldn't get the right size. Man, I can't hardly read what's on the screen. So that's what happened this week. 2 signings. And I think they're kind of big. I think he's somebody that can do spot starting. So, yeah, we didn't get Iffy, but we got somebody that's of equivalent value for this team. As a matter of fact, he might be better value because he's used to being a team leader. Hey, Steve, I was just talking about Chuck Clark, and I think he's better than we think. Did some research. He was the defensive captain in 2022, the year he left. He had the green dot. He was the one that communicated to the entire defense prior to plays. That's huge. When he went to the Jets, he blew his ACL out in preseason. You never saw him. But he's played in a ton of games, more games than he's been hurt. And he's the type of defensive leader we'll need with Kirby and or Branch out for a long period of time to start the season. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he'll ever be perfect. I'm just saying he's what we needed in this room. And they did the profile pick for the NFL.com for the NFC North quarterbacks. And as you can see, they did their best to try and include Kyler. Yeah, he's a physical safety. He's really good in the run. It is what it is. Neil, what up, though, Bandit? Just been busy taking care of my stuff. Chuck Clark is a dog, bro. Look him up. Ask anybody that knows him, that played with him. He's a dog. He's a defensive captain in 2022, his last year with the Ravens. very physical against the run. He has a ton of breakups too. Let me get back to that. He had one ACL, a torn pectoral. Broski Bear, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing better now that I did some research on Chuck Clark. It's a nice depth signing. It's not somebody to replace Kirby or Branch, but it's somebody that can step in and be a defensive leader while they're recovering.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. Like you're over 30. You know, he had an ACL, like 2 or 3 years ago.
4 years ago, the 23 season.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. We'll see if he can kind of bridge the gap. But essentially, maybe even take over for the season for Kirby, because like I don't really have much faith that he's ever going to be out there playing again, to tell you the truth.
Well, he's already at the facility. I've seen videos and pictures of him actually cutting and stuff and getting back into shape. He's just not doing much outside of the facility because he doesn't want to risk it. He's not doing the Deshaun Watson thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a whole different topic we'll probably disagree
But you know
on.
what I'm
But
saying? Yeah, Deshaun Watson had an ACL, and instead of just doing the stuff at rehab, he goes out with his fiance, dances with her behind the vehicle, and re-aggravates his ACL and has to have another surgery. Remember, just prior to last season, that
yeah,
came out.
honestly, I don't like. I really haven't heard much on Deshaun Watson for a few years. But yeah, I definitely don't want to pattern your rehab after anything Deshaun Watson has ever done. That's for
Right.
sure.
So this is his career production, and he did start 15 out of 17 games last year for Pittsburgh. 123 games, 80 starts, 504 tackles, 37 pass deflections, 7 forced fumbles, 5 interceptions, and 4.5 sacks. And that's with them missing a season and a half between an ACL and a torn pec. So it's not like he has a major injury history with his legs. It was 2 different seasons when the injuries happened. So I don't think he's like, and he was playing at MetLife for the Jets when they happened too. Everybody gets hurt.
Well, yeah, but he only started 5 games last year, and he only started 12.
Played in 15 and started 5. Excuse me.
Yeah, 2023 didn't play, torn ACL. 2024 started 12 games. 2025 started 5 games. Yeah, I mean, like I said, hey, like I said, you're not looking for like the next like all pro safety. You're looking at someone who could step in, take some kind of leadership role, and fill in for a handful of games or something. You know what I mean?
From what I'm hearing, Kirby will be back before Joseph. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but the style of physical player he is, he's a lot more towards Branch's style than he is towards Kirby's. Do you agree with that? As in being a setter in the run game.
Yeah, he's more of like he's like a small in the box safety more. I feel, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was a very good move, and we also signed an assistant running back coach yesterday. You might remember him from Washington State University days back in the 2010 decade, James Booby Williams.
James Booby Williams?
Yep.
Who the heck is that?
He came out of Washington State University. He had a decent career starting out for him, and it was derailed year 3 back before ACL surgeries got as good as they are now.
Okay. So, well, if you were, you said Booby, I'm thinking Friday Night Lights. I'm like Booby Miles. I'm like, good shit, man.
Yeah,
good hire, But Booby Wilcox or whoever the hell you said, like
Williams.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But he excelled at run after contact, lowering his pad level, getting people to bounce off of him and stuff like that. And I think that's what he's brought in. He's one of those tone setter. He used to be a tone setter type of running back. He wasn't the fastest guy, but he wasn't slow either. You know what I mean? He was average, but he used his physicality. So I think that's a good thing to bring in because, the guy that we got there right now, he wasn't the most physical of running backs. And so if you get somebody that can teach that, lowering the pad level and how to get that next 2 or 3 yards, that could actually help us with getting third downs converted in the run game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing to know. I mean, obviously Gibbs isn't a power runner. He's a little guy, but I feel like for his size, he does a pretty good job of putting his shoulder down and powering through when he has to run between the tackles and stuff.
He improved greatly last year for the between the tackle stuff because he did add some mass. He didn't get overly big where he lost his speed like some guys do. Some of those guys go and work out and try to look like DK Metcalf, and the next thing you know, they lose 0.2 of a second off their 40 time.
No, I hear you, man. And I think it's probably pretty obvious that Pacheco's probably a one-year rental.
Yeah, he is. He was given a prove it deal. Hey,
yeah.
You haven't been healthy for 3 straight seasons. You want to be here? Come in, do your job. Learn how to block.
I hear that, and I think it's also pretty solidified. I don't think Vaki is going to be like in the running back rotation anytime ever.
I think that Jacob Sailors is going to beat him out for running back 3 because he ran better the few times he had the ball last year.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like he has more run. He just seems like he's more of an actual NFL running back. Tell me the truth.
Maybe we'll actually train Vaki at his natural position of safety and stop toying around with the project.
Well, isn't that something that like you probably need to find 2 new starting safeties to start the season, and that's what Vaki played, but that's not what he has been playing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's what he played in college.
And don't forget, we got Yasin, who's played safety and nickel corner. I think we got one of the 2, Thomas Harper. We brought him back. We lost Maddox. We lost a couple of the other ones. And then we got Dan Jackson, the rookie we drafted last year that you were glowing about till he broke his arm for us. Remember?
Well,
you said, yeah, that was a great pick because it was a 6th round pick.
That one I don't remember, honestly, but I'll take your word for it there. But yeah, let's go through it real quick, man. Let's go through some Lions secondary. So starting nickelback for them, I would assume it has to be McCreary. That's why they signed him, right?
Right. I think that's what they're going to do, and they're going to move Yasin to the Kirby position at free safety. That's where I was going to get to. But it looks like Reed and Terry and Arnold, as long as he's still on the team, will be the boundary corners, right? Yep. I love how everybody blows up that it said they found text to the NFL phone that the guy stole. It didn't say that he found text to the perpetrators of the crime. You know what I'm saying? And everybody twisted it. Oh, there was text saying that he was the ringleader of the whole thing. I sit there and said, no. Because if there was text that he was the ringleader, there'd have been an arrest warrant immediately. That, Broski.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, that will take a few minutes for me to go through my thoughts on that, and I'll surely give them to you if you want me to. But yeah, I mean, TA. Like, let's see if the Lions actually stick to their guns about building a culture and having these quality character players, because you can't go run an Airbnb, throw a house party for thugs, get robbed, or whatever, people steal from you.
Oh, I'm
then,
sure
then you use your girlfriend as bait to set them up to get them to go to a hotel room.
That's also been,
and then have guys jump out of a closet waiting for them.
That's been proven false too. She never was his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's not what I've read. That's definitely not what I've read.
And it actually, that's why they haven't issued an arrest warrant. That was proven all false.
And then, I don't think it has. But anyway, I mean, you have guys jump out on them. Another person comes in, I guess, one of the guy's friends, and we're pistol whipping people. We're holding them against their will. We're robbing them. These are Terry and Arnold's. That's his crew, man. Like, that's his crew. So, whatever. It's not like you sign a document to say, "Hey, this is officially my girlfriend." But if you're hanging out and messing with them long enough, it's kind of just goes hand in hand. People will be like, "Hey, that's his girlfriend." But whatever the case may be, don't hang out with thugs, man, because you are who maybe you typically are who you hang out with, or that's who you aspire to be, who you hang out with. So let's just
Okay, but now let me refute, because it has been proven none of them was his relatives. None of them served on a security squad. They rented the Airbnb and invited him because he was the landlord. This is what has been proven. This is what has came out since that date. And everything has been refuted. That was never his girlfriend. Everything has been.
Yeah,
That's why the Hillsborough County DA already said, as of this point, there is no charges, nor will there be, against Terrion Arnold. That was just said 3 weeks ago.
well, I didn't think they said there would be no charges. They just said there are none at this time.
As of right now, they're saying there will be no charges. That's what I'm saying. So until there's something that comes up concrete, which they don't have, he's not being charged. It has to be something that totally makes everything that Terrion and his lawyer that has been in contact with him the whole time.
So, but JB, I don't think you have the facts right. Terrion Arnold didn't own that Airbnb. He was the one who rented the Airbnb for his thuggish friends. I'm not saying his friends were his relatives or his security. I'm saying they're his crew. They're his boys. That's the facts. The girl who set them up was considered by many his girlfriend. So,
but it wasn't.
Okay. I mean, whatever. I mean, JB, let's not play dumb just because it's a Lions player. Like, obviously,
No,
this kid hangs out. He hangs out with thugs. He hangs out with thugs. He threw a party for him, and then he's smart enough to know he's going to have to put layers between himself and any crime, which he did, which is a reason why they can't tie anything directly back to him. But my thing is this: okay, he might not ever get charged with anything, but anyone who's ever grown up and been around some urban environments kind of knows, like, yeah, Terrion Arnold's definitely going down the wrong path, hanging out with these kind of people, and more than likely he did have some at least knowledge of what was going to happen. That's my whole thing. Yeah, so we'll see if the Lions stand by it and cut his ass.
I don't think they're cutting him. That makes no sense. Not with the dead cap hit of a third-year player out of a first-round contract. That makes no sense whatsoever. They're not going to cut him, but I'm quite sure there'll be something. If anything ties back to him, legit, where anything sticks, they'll do something. Yeah. And I've said this all along.
Yeah, but what about the culture, JB? What about the culture? That's the whole thing.
He's not been arrested. He hasn't been charged.
Well, I know that's not my point. What about the culture, though? You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, we'll see. I don't want to take up your whole show talking about that. Obviously, that's not something we see eye to eye on.
I've actually no, because actually every time something came out that was factual, I actually reported it on the show when you weren't watching, and I've been reporting this stuff the entire time since February 4th, since the incident started, and I leave it to factual stuff that comes out of Tampa Bay news, not local news. I don't like reading the local news because they twist things, and you know that.
Every news definitely twists things, but anyway,
it's more real when you get it from the place where it happened, Hillsborough County, than if you get it out of Wayne or Oakland County. That's what was my point.
That I'll take your word on, but like I said, we'll see if the Lions stay true to their word about the team culture and the type of player they want to keep on the team. But yeah, going back to the secondary. So you have DJ Reed, you got McQuarrie, Nickel, you got TA, the other corner, and like you said, it looks like it might actually be Rock Ya-Sin and Chuck Clark starting at safety to start the season, and maybe play most of the season, honestly. So, that's how I look at it. What do you think about that?
Hey, I agree. It's going to be Reed and Arnold unless anything happens. McCreary at nickel. The dime back, if he's healthy and can actually take the field, we might actually see Ennis Rakestraw this season, but I'm not holding my breath. But the safeties to start the season, if Joseph is a go, then Rock Ya-Sin will take over the dime spot automatically. No questions asked. you agree with that?
Say that again. Who would take
If
over the
Kirby
dime spot?
Joseph, if Kirby Joseph is healthy, then Rocky Ya-Sin automatically goes into the dime spot because Ennis Rakestraw hasn't proved anything yet with not taking one snap in the regular
Yeah,
season.
he would be next on the depth chart. He'd be before Rakestraw for sure.
Right. So that's the only caveat to the free safety side. We know Branch isn't coming back till around Halloween at the earliest because of when he got hurt. That's a 10, 11 month surgery time plus the 4
Yeah.
weeks in the 21-day practice window.
Yeah.
You're looking at week 8 or 9 at the earliest, correct?
Yeah, that's what I think. It's a mid-season. You're hoping he's back mid-season, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want him to rush back. That's for damn sure.
No.
Not after an Achilles tear. The Achilles tear, even though the surgery has been the same since 1991, which is when the micro-stitching surgery started by Dr. Brian Ortman, and the only reason why I know that is he's the one that fixed Billy Sims' knee, but he also is the one that sewed my Achilles tendon together.
Hmm.
And he said it's an experimental procedure we're starting with these special sutures that melt inside, so we don't have to go in and take them out. We can just staple you shut and put you in a cast and then adjust it every 4 weeks.
Okay.
So that hasn't changed at all. That surgery, it's been exactly the same since 91.
Something's happened where they're I don't know what they're doing, but
it's the rehab. The rehab is what changed. The surgery itself is the same, but the rehab has changed. How they work it. It used to be you stitched it, you sat it in a cast, and then you'd wait 4 weeks and move it again. And now they found that it's better, like after 6 weeks, instead of leaving it in a full cast all the way to the toe, to make it to where you're putting pressure on it to strengthen the Achilles tendon again, because it's actually repaired by that time. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because that's when the sutures have dissolved.
Yeah, I mean, I think the surgery itself has evolved a little bit as well from the type of incisions they probably make, and they probably have some other stuff.
The external stuff probably changed, but the internal microsutures has not, is what I was getting at. It may not be, may not need the 6-inch long gash down the side of your ankle anymore to be able to fix it. You know what I mean? They can do it with the orthoscopic stuff and do it tiny, minute scars. That way there's less scarring.
Yeah, I'm sure the way they connect the Achilles too. I mean, they might have some better material or something that they might use there, but in theory, it's all the same. And yeah, like you said, the big advancement has been in the rehab process. But yeah, man. Hey, well, I wanted to bounce something off you randomly here. Obviously football related, but I wanted to get your 2 cents on something.
Sure.
And it kind of goes along with I think it was either your thumbnail or what you had on at the beginning of the show about the Minnesota Vikings, and they have a possible new quarterback, Smurf Murray. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Smurf Murray. He can barely see over
pictured right there.
Yeah, he can barely see over a kitchen counter. Yeah, you can see the top of his head exactly. I just noticed that now, actually. But yeah, I mean, to me, this is a knee-jerk reaction because they missed out on keeping Darnold last year, and obviously Darnold went on and won a freaking Super Bowl. Not only that, they didn't land Aaron Rodgers, who was rumored to go there for months.
Right.
So I'm not a huge JJ McCarthy guy, but dude, you draft a quarterback in the first round, you got to give him 3 years.
Well, unfortunately, they're not giving him one because the first year he spent in crutches. The second year, he might as well have been in crutches. As bad as he played, he should have been on the sideline that year too, playing behind Darnold.
Well, yeah, man, I don't know. Last year was year 2 for him, so I mean, this would be his 3rd year.
They said at the beginning of the year they were looking for a new direction. They don't want JJ because KOC never wanted JJ. That was a Quezzy pick. It's one of the reasons he's fired.
Yeah, and there's some Minnesota Vikings fans that'll say, "Oh no, Quezzy didn't pick him. He was a fall guy, blah blah blah, and all this." But regardless, Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole thing is like what I'm getting at is like I guess McCarthy isn't like half the player all these Vikings fans were saying he was going to be even after the season ended. They were like, "Oh, he finished the season so good. He's going to be so good." And then they all jump off the bandwagon as soon as they hire, as soon as they sign, little Kyler. So, that's a little suspect to me. As is the play of Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy when they're actually playing, when they're actually not injured and on the field. I don't know, man. What do you think about that whole situation, JB?
They really have to improve that O-line in order for Kyler to be successful. Because
Yep.
think about it, Arizona's O-line actually ranked higher at pass blocking, and he still got hurt.
Yeah, and I go on some Vikings podcasts now, and that's been the thing I've been saying to them the last couple of months, JB. The first thing I say, like, what you guys really need to focus on improving is your O line first. Like,
Right.
your O line is not anywhere close to where it needs to be, guys. I'm sorry. Like,
And I understand they needed to help their secondary because it was abysmal last year. They needed to help that. But the second focus should be the O-line. And I thought the way they were gutting the defensive line depth at D tackle, that's where they were going to go with that money. And they got Kyler cheap. Let's face it. They got him for the vet minimum. Don't be stupid and sign him mid-season. Because then all that hit money goes to you. You know that, right? If you extend a player that's on that vet minimum because he was cut from another team, if you try to re-sign him in season, all that dead cap hit and all that guaranteed money comes back on you, not the original team, because you added a new contract.
yeah, they're definitely not gonna extend him during the season. I don't think. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be I don't think they're gonna feel they have a want to do that either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Kyler working out. I mean, this Darisaw guy at left tackle, I mean, he's missed like 5-6 games each of the last 2 years. The O'Neal guy, I don't know. Some people say he's good, some say he's not. When I see him play, he doesn't look that good at right tackle to me. I don't know. Will Fries to me was a backup player they gave a starter contract to. He's not that good. They have Brandel at center, who's a converted guard who, dude, I don't think he's a long-term answer. Their O-line's not, I don't think it's good. And I think that's why they were abysmal at running the football last year. I mean, like, they didn't run the football worth of crap last year. And you can't continue to do that, especially when you have a quarterback KOC system. He's not going to be able to take snaps under center because he's such a little dwarf. And, like, everything's going to have to,
pistol, shotgun,
7
7-step drops. If he is under center, it has to be 7-step drops because he does not have the pocket awareness to get out of a sack close to the center.
And that's kind of what KOC's offense is like. It's like this long, like drawn out play, set it up with a deep drop. And that's what got McCarthy in trouble last year. And that's what got Wentz killed last year. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I don't know, man.
When they signed Carson Wentz after losing Darnold and Daniel Jones, I laughed.
But it's what's crazy about that, and I'm not pumping up Wentz or anything, but I'm saying of those 3 quarterbacks they have on the roster, the one who actually fits the mold of a KOC quarterback of who he would like to fit in his system more than is Carson Wentz of those 3. Now, I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean. I don't think any of those quarterbacks really have a chance this year with that O line. And
the bad part is we all heard Brosmer was going to be great.
I think KOC is a joke, man. I do. Like, I was saying it before last season. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's a quarterback." I'm like, dude, he hasn't whispered shit. I'm like, I don't care what Daniel Jones said. Whatever.
He has fully developed quarterbacks hitting his system. His system is a QB-friendly system, just like Kyle Shanahan's. That's what it is. Well,
if you know how to run it the right way, and if you are a quarterback who has some experience already too, I don't know if he's really ever brought in like a young quarterback and brought him up. But regardless, Their O-line's trash. They're going to struggle running the ball. The signing I laughed at for them was the Aaron Jones signing. That to me was hilarious. I'm like, you guys couldn't run the ball last year. Aaron Jones is old and crusty.
How many games did he miss? 5 games last year, I think.
Exactly, something like that. And it's just like, guys, like,
and even though they beat us both games, you know, he never had more than 40 yards versus the Lions, who were giving up buttloads of yards.
I mean, he was kind of a non-factor most of the season, honestly.
And in all honesty, if that end around with Jordan Addison didn't work, the one that broke through, but remember, we didn't have Branch back there on that play. He's our cleanup guy in the secondary. You know what I'm talking about, the physical guy that takes down the runners that get past the second line of defense. He's that guy.
I mean, I'm not. I really. I'll take your word for it on the actual play that happened. But my point is, the Vikings have the same issues going into this season as they did last season. Right. They really haven't done anything to improve. In fact, and you know the old saying: if you don't improve, you get worse. So, hey, they have 10 draft picks in this draft. They have 7 day 3 draft picks.
We have 6. So yeah, we're in the same boat. We have our first 2, and then we have 6. But the difference is we've signed 15 players.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Vikings, I'm just drafting all O-line and D-line because it's like, okay, you know, you also lost Hargrave and Allen. Now, say what you want about their performance last year. Who's filling in? You're expecting 2 guys who've never started before to just step up and be awesome, like, you know what I mean? So it's like they need D-line too. Like, they need trenches, and they need a running back. Like, Mason, to me, I think he's a solid running back for his role, but like, I don't think he's ever going to be like, he has good like yards per carry and stuff, but like he needs a sidekick. He needs to be rotational, I feel. You know what I mean?
He's more of the thunder type of runner. Whereas you don't have any lightning on there because Aaron Jones doesn't have that lightning speed anymore.
Yeah, he's.
So, you know who would be great for them? And I hate saying this. They should take him in the 2nd round and don't go by his draft prospect list. They should just get Mike Washington Jr.
Well, that's a very interesting name that you brought up, JB.
Don't you agree, though? That's the speed. They've got good running back coaches that teaches guys how to hold on to the ball, how to do the 5 points. We've seen that because they're not prone to fumbling unless they get that perfect hit or one jump.
What I'm going to tell you is this, and like every year people do these mock drafts and they get all locked into whatever site they're on, you know, whatever PFF or NFL Draft Buzz or whatever they're doing, CBS or ESPN mock draft simulators. Dude, people need to get outside of like, oh, well, they have this player ranked at 98. There's no way you could take him in the late 1st round or 2nd round or something. It's like, guys, like these rankings are so fucking far off every year. Like you have to. That's not how it works. Mike, what I'm getting at is this: Mike Washington will be a late 1st round pick. You do not find. And here's the thing with him: a lot of people didn't know about him till the combine, and there was like, oh yeah, he's Mr. Underwear Olympics champion. No, dude, go watch his film. Good ass mother. He is a fucking amazing running back.
The only thing that he does wrong is when he's doing some of his spin moves and when he's juking, he has a tendency to hold the ball outside his frame. And that's why he fumbled. It was due to contact, not just because he dropped the ball. I'm trying to explain that because he did have fumble issues his last 2 years at Arkansas. But you have to watch how he runs. The way he spins and the way he moves. He's a lot like the old Billy Sims that we had. He has power and speed. He's not just one or the other.
Yeah, and he actually reminds me of a certain player. His running style. Now, he reminds me of how his cuts are, and you know he is listed at 6'2". He's listed at 228, right? His running style, because he's kind of tall and how he cuts, he has those what you kind of call like one cut and go runs too. Like you know, he can what do you want to say? Like string together like a multi-cut combination or something, whatever you want to call it. But he also does have those runs where it's just like one cut, boom type of thing too, which I love. I mean, this guy's amazing. He reminds me of a jacked up, more physically gifted, like a faster, stronger Matt Forte. How he runs.
Yep, but if you actually I go back further because I've been watching ball since I was a little kid, and I just remember Billy Sims. And he was my first love as a running back for the Lions. And it wasn't just the somersault. It was because I was there when he kicked that guy in the face to get a first down, but that was great. Next year, it was the rule. You can't do that anymore. But anyway.
Yeah. And, like you said, he had 3 fumbles last year at Arkansas, and I think the season before, he might have had double that amount. But
exactly 6.
Yeah.
He had 12 in his 3 years. He had 12 total in his 3 years.
But he did seem like he did get better at it, at least last year. So
yeah.
And to me, that is something you can coach that out. I just think like
it can be coached out. Look at Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
What his last year at Wisconsin, didn't he have a record of like 44 fumbles with 36 lost? Something like that?
I think he might have. I would have to go back and look.
It was an NCAA record. I don't know how many he lost for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was 44 fumbles.
Well, yeah, and just going back to kind of what I initially brought up about Mike Washington, you don't find and I think running back is kind of coming back too. A little more value is being placed on running backs. Like we went through that lull for a while where they were just getting treated like dirt. I think the whole, Saquon Barkley taking the Eagles to the Super Bowl kind of, rejuvenated the most people's
McCaffrey.
Exactly. The kid on
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, look at the Seahawks running game. You know what I mean? Like they don't really have a stud, but look at their running game. You know what I mean? So it's like people are putting more value in that. Honestly, I don't see him I don't see him falling out of the first round.
I think he does just because of other positions of need. There isn't as many people that need a running back right away. And
I think
a couple of the teams that need a running back because they let theirs go, they traded away their first round pick, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. But what I was getting at too is even like a team like the Bears at 25. Like Swift isn't going to be on the team after this season. They were one pick away from landing what's his face on the Patriots last year, who they said they were going to take. Like they love that kid. What's his face? The kid from Ohio State. Travion Henderson. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. The Bears were going to draft him. Literally got picked right in front of them. I think Ben Johnson's going to get his running back this year. I could see pick 25 being Mike Washington.
Yep. So,
and then you got Mike Washington and Manon guy just to fucking carry your squad for the next 3 or 4 years.
You guys are picking what, 19 now?
Bears are 25.
They're 25. Okay, that's right. You won the first round. I thought you were the Packers for a second. Excuse me.
Don't ever do that, JB. JB,
that's right. The Cowboys got that pick from them. That's what it was. Yeah, and then they traded it to the Jets, if I remember right.
Who the Packers?
The Packers' first round pick went to the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. Remember?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where you were going with this.
And then Dallas traded that to New York to get Quinnen Williams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it may be.
That's why the Jets have like 3 first-round picks. They would probably.
I know they have two. They have 2 and 16. I know that.
2 and 16. 16 being the Dallas one, 2 being their own.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot the other pick is next year's pick because they traded away that extra pick. Like I said, they traded away the extra pick, the one that they got.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is this: you get a talent, you have a physical specimen who actually can, like he is like a running back. He's a monster, like Mike Washington. Teams make room for guys like that. Like
I want to get into something that I was asked the other day that I haven't been able to
comment
on.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
When players retire and they have multiple years left on their contract, teams will not ask them to pay all the bonus back, but they'll ask them to pay some because that bonus that they're paid up front is for every year of the contract, correct?
I
You
mean,
know what I'm talking about.
It's prorated. Well,
yeah, but
I don't
break
know.
it down.
Honestly, I would have to look that up. I mean, from a book standpoint, you get to prorate that over the life of the contract, I believe.
Right,
But as
it's
far
all
as
paid up front.
physically receiving it, like physically getting paid, you get it all paid up front, I believe.
Right.
Right.
So a couple of the players were griping because some players have retired and they didn't ask for all of it. They asked for a portion of the prorated bonus back because they're not going to finish their contract. This is what happened before. And when Calvin Johnson realized, oh, I didn't realize that was an NFL rule. Because if you do not receive partial compensation of that bonus that's paid ahead of time, if you don't receive part of it back, it automatically becomes dead cap the next season. All of it in one lump sum. Do you see what I'm getting at?
I see what you're getting at, and
normally players don't say a word, but because there's been this stigma with Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and so forth.
In JB, I would have to get into the ins and outs of the actual law, regulation, whatever.
Yeah, but it is actually their
but
signing bonus that's owed, by the pro rate becomes automatic dead.
But my thing is they don't have to take it back, right? They don't have to. Legally, if they want to, they can, but they don't have to.
In the bylaws, they literally have to ask the player.
Then why is like the Lions the only team in history where this like has ever applied to? Like pretty much.
Because the Lions have been historically bad for so damn long, players get jaded when they're asked this thing. That's what's happened.
Yeah, but I'm saying like other players don't get asked to really do that.
Yes,
like,
they do. All of them do. All of them do because it's in the bylaws. Just nobody else complains.
Yeah, I mean, JB, if you want to get into it, that was a Bush League move by the Lions. Like, again, this goes back to the culture thing. They're trying to act like they supposedly have. Like, no communication with Decker about him directly getting cut. AQM was like, what the hell? They didn't even reach out to me to tell me anything. Like, you'd think they would sign an 11 sack guy, to a cheap deal again. Yeah, I mean, like the whole Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson thing. Look at the Ragnow thing. I mean, look at the Adama Sue. That didn't end clean. Like, I don't know, man. To me, there's optics. Players talk. Players notice this kind of thing. Like, all the times he risked like future lifelong injuries for the team. I would have let him keep the $1 million or whatever it was, 1 point whatever. Like, I just would have let him keep it. That's just me. That's just me. But I know we disagree on that.
Yep. I've seen this so many times, and it's the same thing every time. That's what I was getting at. And it's for some reason, it's Lions players are the only ones that complain about it. That's what I've seen over the years. Every player that retires before their contract is either required to pay some of it back, and the team has to ask for it. They literally have to ask for it. Or they sign a contract to be a speaker on behalf of the team, to be an ambassador of the brand. That is what's in the NFLPA.
Yeah, but the thing with, and I'll just leave it at this after this comment. The thing with Barry and Calvin, like Calvin's situation didn't get cleared up to like 7 years after he retired. And that's how they did it. They said, hey, you can do this speaking engagement. Hey, we'll pay you. The Barry Sanders thing didn't get cleared up to like 18 years after he retired. So,
you know who was the biggest proponent of that changing?
It was Sheila, right?
Right. The new owner. She's the one that reached out to both of them. So I'm quite sure she's going to reach out to Frank and saying, hey, you have a choice here. You don't have to pay it back if you do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
It's
to me,
Rod
that
Wood.
goes.
Wait, no, it's more Rod Wood than anything. He's been the dictator that's been here all through William Clay Ford till then because he was under contract to the Lions. Do you see what I'm getting at? And now
Yeah,
he's retiring. So as soon as he gets out the door, I bet you Sheila's going to reach out, and
right.
that's what'll fix all this.
And to me, that plays into the whole communication factor. Like you should have communicated it to him before you while the discussions were going on. Like, hey, I don't want to take a pay cut. You have to stay on the team. And then, just it all should have been worked in together. But
Decker's not exactly being honest either.
Neither
it
here nor
wasn't
there.
just a pay cut.
I don't know. It was a bush league move. It was a bush league move by the Lions.
He was offered an extension with it, which means he still gets his money. It's stretched out over time. You know how that works.
I think Sheila should be ashamed of himself for asking for that money back. That's my take on it. Like, I don't think that was a good move. I don't think it's a good move.
I think it was more Rod Wood, and I think that's what's going to come out. All right. So, yes, I'm feeling better, Nick. Yes, it still hurt.
Well, I'm glad you saw the comment I left you. I was like, how's JB going to take this comment when he sees it?
I took it with a grain of salt. It's great.
We got some comments in the chat. What do we got going on here?
I've said it so many times that William and Martha were the worst thing to ever happen to the Lions. Ask any Lions fans. We've been screaming for new ownership for decades. Sheila, though, is a Ford, is a new owner.
Yeah, man. Shout out Fred, Nick. Yeah. Who else we got in the chat?
Will Vogel, of course, and we had Neil.
Shout out Will.
And Neil. MDE, Michael Edwards.
Nice, man.
All of them came in. I was going to do a mock, but we basically filled the show actually talking ball, and I love it.
Oh, GB, man. I'm just going to ask you this for a while too, man. We have a show. If I jump on sometime, can I do a Lions mock draft?
Sure.
Like, could you let me? Yeah, that'd be awesome because
you just tell me who you want to pick. Now, don't sit here and be the jerk that says, "Okay, take a punter in the first round."
No. I do this for because you know me, man. I talk to Panthers people and Vikings people. I go on their shows. I've done it for other teams. Like I pick legit. I'm like, all right, guys, this is how your draft should look. Like, do this, and then yeah.
I think the position of tackle isn't as big of a need as everybody thinks right now with the signing of Ben Bartch as well as the addition of Larry Borum, because Bartch is actually a legit starting right tackle who's been with the 49ers the last 2 years in that position. And I think that means Penei Sewell's going to left tackle.
You know what?
That's what I see happening.
I'm gonna say this. So this is another good topic you brought up. The Lions are picking what, 17 or
yeah,
17. All right. So very well could happen that at 17, if they're really going on best available player. I'm telling you this right now, and it's not just because I'm a Penn State guy. I'm telling you this right now. That Vega Ione kid.
Oh, the guard. Yeah, I know.
He is, Davey, I'm going to say this. One of the best players in this entire draft, any position.
Him and Pregnone. Both of them. Guards.
Dude. Vega is on another level. He would be drafting the Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Those are the two best ones that I see in this draft at guard, is what I'm saying. It's Vega, and he's by far above him, and then it's Pregnone, and then after that, it's a whole bunch of Jags, just a guy.
What I was gonna compare him to is he'd be like the Penei Sewell of guards. He's gonna be that good, type of thing. And yes, they're both Polynesian, but yeah, dude. And so if they go by best available and he's sitting there, then to me, Penei Sewell definitely is getting moved to left tackle. Then, like you said, Borum or maybe even Frazier or maybe the other guy you mentioned, they have guys to choose from at right tackle. It's much easier to find a right tackle than a good left tackle, you know?
And let's not forget, the entire time he was at Oregon, Penei Sewell was the best left tackle in college.
Yeah, I was very against that at first, but then I started considering what people were saying, and doing some research. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that, hey, after talking to people and taking a second look at things, I came around to it. I do agree. Sewell could definitely move to left tackle and be fine.
Mm-hmm. Because we moved him to right tackle and he was fine. I remember the first game that he played after Decker got back. I can't remember who it was we were facing, but it was, I think, we faced Rams week 1. But he did have to go up against Sewell. He said, this guy's going to be good. Do you remember that? After the post-game interview, they asked Aaron Darnold, who didn't have any sacks on golf. That was hilarious.
I don't.
Yeah. He said there, he goes, so how do you think Penei Sewell did? He goes, that kid's going to be good.
Well, he was right about that.
I remember one of the big-time coaches that always does the pre-draft stuff, the 2 hours pre-show that they do. And they asked him about Penei Sewell. He goes, I think he's the only Purifier Gold Jacket member on the O-line in this draft.
Okay. Well.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty big praise coming from a Gold Jacket member already who went from college to pro and made all his accolades type thing. But I was like, wow, that's huge. But
yeah, man.
Going forward, I agree with you that we might go Pregnon. But lately, I've seen somebody else slipping through the draft mocks, and I'm not saying he'll get there. But if you have to decide between Ruben Bain Jr. or Pregnon, that's a big decision for Brad Holmes.
You're saying this Pregno guy is a guard?
Yeah, or Vega or Pregnon, and then Ruben Bain Jr. as an edge. You know what I'm saying?
Where did the Pregno guy go to school?
Oregon. He went to Oregon.
Okay, so there's another Oregon guard that's ranked high as well.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. Yeah, he's
okay. Yeah, you know what it is, man. I just don't think, and I don't know why this is. And I could honestly almost say we're going to see how this Bears draft goes this year too. It's almost the same thing. I just think that like Brad Holmes, like I don't know if he's. Damn, I just don't know if he has it in him to draft another defensive end that high.
You're talking about 17, and the other one, we could be going linebacker to replace Anzalone. Because remember, they drafted Campbell at 18. It's not far-fetched to think they might do it again at 17.
Yeah, and I'm going against the popular opinion on this one. I do not like this linebacker class at all.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's all about, so-and-so ran this 40 time and blah, 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 man. But when you look at the tape, I'll tell you what, especially middle linebacker, it's a real tough class. And obviously the Lions, they don't need a middle linebacker. They have Jack Campbell. So, but like, is there really any outside linebackers, like true 4-3 outside linebacker, like weak side linebackers that are worthy of a first round pick? Like to me, I don't even think it's close. I don't think there's anyone even close to that. But that's my 2 cents. Because I don't even like the Ohio State kids that much, to be completely honest with you. But I'm a Big Ten guy, and I'm not jumping up and down about Reese or what's his face, Sonny. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Whatever. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Broski's take. Anyway, man. Well, dude, maybe we can link up, next week or something, and have a mock draft day or something.
Yep. Yeah, we can do that next week. But it's time for me to get off here. I got to head to work. Got to be there by 1:30. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you, Broski, for tuning in and jumping in. Maybe next Monday, if you're free for the hour, hop in and I'll let you do the first mock and then I'll do the second.
That's great, man. Dude, JB, great catching up with you, man.
Yeah, always great. Have a good one, brother.
You too, man. Bye.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.